Sean Langman, Naval Group. Sean, it's that time of year again. It's Hobart time, and the palms get a bit sweaty, do they?
Oh, look, no doubt when you go to the skipper's brief and you're, talking about a race that's starting in a matter of 4 weeks' time, you start to look at the mountain in front of you. We all try and squeeze as much as we can out of our steeds right to the last minute. In our case this year, we are leaving our run later than normal. We saw an opportunity to remode the boat, and we're working hard on that. So I'll pick up a hull.
So what have you done?
Well, the Gold Coast race we sailed with 10 crew, and that was really about sort of proving to myself that we could sail the boat with less people and sail the boat in a lighter condition and be competitive. So we were quite astounded and impressed how well we went in that race, and it was really a case of going back to a redesign, which we've done. It's still the same hull and it's still the same keel. We just moved things around a little bit.
Such as?
Oh, look, we moved the bowl back. We reprofiled the fin, and we've installed 1,500 kilos of water ballast. So essentially now our riding moment's gone up a little, and our ability to sail the boat lighter is there. So if there's not much wind, the boat's a lot lighter.
Oh, that should help.
It really is a case. It really is a case that we're making the boat sail to its rating and giving it the best opportunity.
Well, you're getting it back to the design, aren't you?
We've gone a long way from its original design of an STP 65. It's the only one of that generation hull, I believe, that's still around. Most of those hulls were changed significantly.
Oh, yeah.
So when we picked up the boat in Newport, Rhode Island, one of the designers from the designs team said that the boat's a dog, Sean, and you'll work it out. So I think we've worked it out. I believe the boat's got a lot of potential. So the proof will be in the pudding when we start the race. The big boat race will just be a bit of a hit out for just trialling the boat. We're not expecting great things then, but it's just good to get on the start line and see what the boat can do with a few configuration changes.
What about the crew? You still have a French stroke Australian crew?
Well, our crew consists of 4 Kiwis, 3 Australians, 2 South Africans, 2 Frenchmen, and a Brit from the British Olympic sailing team.
And you don't have an interpreter?
There's the same word actually goes across a few languages, I believe.
They just spell it differently.
Yeah, exactly. So look, I'm excited about the crew. It's the best crew I've ever sailed with ever.
How many?
Ever. So we're sailing with 12 in total, but 10 professional crew and 2 from Naval Group, the company.
Excellent. So what's your program for the next 12 months there, Sean?
Well, the program really at the moment is all hinging around the Rolex Sydney Hobart Yacht Race. That's for offshore sailing. My own personal program is International Canoe World Championships, Flying 15 World Championships, the 18-foot skip JJs. So we've got a bit on in sailing terms. I've got a lot on sailing terms, which is pretty exciting. I'm very fortunate that I get those opportunities.
Sean, there's a lot of first-timers in this race. What would be your couple of key bits of advice to them, apart from be safe?
Yeah, look, it's really about controlling your emotion. It's a difficult time of year. It's a difficult time of year because of Christmas Day being the day before and family expectations, and going from that moment of all the family emotion and the love that's centred around that and the concern that's centred around the race, and so that can lead to possibly a little bit too much Christmas cheer, and then the anxiety may bring on some seasickness. So it's really about doing all the things you do well. Get good sleep, eat well, don't over celebrate Christmas Day, hug all your family, kiss all your family, tell them you'll be safe, which will keep everyone's anxiety down, and then yourself, wear your life jacket and clip on. Like we wear ours 24/7 now. As far as I'm concerned, they're a bit of kit that you've got to have on the boat. The boat will sail faster if it's sitting on you, and the boat will go far better if you're attached to the boat and you don't have to go back looking for someone. So they're my things about the race. So we're 24/7, life jackets on, clip on, and as I said, the boat sails faster because it's all riding moment, it's all attached to yourself. So, yeah.
There is a bit of a special buzz around this particular race, isn't there? I mean, there's 75. Think of some of those great people in the past: John Bonetto, Roger Hickman, those sort of guys. You knew those sort of guys. They were great seamen, and some of those traditions are still carrying through, though, aren't they?
Well, I've said many times the sea doesn't discriminate. It doesn't matter what size boat you're on, you're going to be faced by the same situation. So, seamanship skills of those great names that you mentioned, the Fish, John Bonetto and Roger Hickman, their opportunity to sail at sea in more adverse conditions were there. Now we tend to be held back on shore if conditions are looking bad. I actually felt a lot for the Cruising Yacht Club and for the sailors, and I had somewhat admiration that they started recently the Cabbage Street race, which was a great hit out. That was a great hit out for a lot of people, and a lot of crews were tested, a lot of boats were tested, and that's what I believe we need. It's there is some risk associated with the sport, but that's what keeps a lot of us going. It's that desire to push ourselves to see what the limits are.
Do you think for young people that it offers them a really good character development sort of situation, potential?
The bonds that are formed with going to sea in any size boat are bonds that just don't leave you. I know that I've been through incredible situations over the past decade with my son in particular, and even though he's at that age now where he's finding his feet, without his old man around, there's things that you just can never take away from us, which are things like experiences in the Sydney Hobart yacht race. Like when he skippered the first year he sailed the race, and I called him over early at the start, and we were on the wrong channel on the radio, and we had to sail the Sail of Shame all the way back down the harbour. He's never let me forget that one. So there's incredibly special bonds that are formed at sea, and like I say, the sea doesn't discriminate. It also age isn't discriminated, sex isn't discriminated against. The mixed crews that I've sailed with, it's all about the sailing. It's all about working together as a team. So, teamwork is an incredible part of it that again just doesn't that opportunity to put people together on a, whether it be on a tiny little island or a sailboat, really is something that is good for society, I believe.
And what about business-wise? How's the Noakes Group going?
Well, Noakes is going fantastically well, and a lot of that is because we did move into a new industry for us, which has given us a new discipline. That discipline now has been grafted onto our recreational business, and the really exciting thing about that is that we're able to offer our services at a less cost. Now, a lot of that's come around with productivity improvements and less warranty, to be brutal. We are launching a new branding of our recreational business, which we're doing through our skiff with a vet heritage with Noakes Blue. We'll launch that in the new year. So, and a vet I met sailing 18-foot skiffs at Lake Garda, and I was just incredibly impressed with her organisational skills. Being a young woman that wasn't as strong as all the blokes, but she had us all empty the container and pack it again, and I said, "What do you do for a living?" She said, "I'm a mining engineer." And I went, "Wow, okay." And then I watched her sail, and I thought, well, you're the ethos of where we want to take our business. So hence the Noakes Blue label you'll see a lot more of next year.
Excellent. Well, congratulations.
I just had the cat out of the bag.
Now the boat, we're bringing it down this weekend.
Yeah, I've got to get cracking now, actually. I'm going to get the boat right now.
Okay, fine.
Yeah. Okay. Otherwise I'll be at sea all night. Thanks, mate.